Hey y'all, I'm gonna read a letter that I have from my YouTube channel. I made some tea, it's sleepy time. It's about 5 afternoon. Usually they're morning chats, but this is a 5 afternoon. I don't want to drink coffee. Let's not be awake all night long, okay? I don't know about you, but coffee does keep me awake. Sleepy time. Maybe I'll fall asleep while I'm here reading, huh? Maybe. It'll relax me, right? So this is from T Bacon. Maybe we all can help her. Hey, T Bacon. It says, I want to run away from home. This really gets your attention, doesn't it? From a controlling husband. I used to have lots of confidence, and I've talked about confidence, until I got married. Then divorced from an abuser. So she was married before and got divorced from an abuser. Was getting her confidence back, she says, was getting it back and got married to a man who slowly, very slowly has taken over my life. I am going to use the what you hold in your mind, you hold in your hand to get my confidence back. This is from a video on why aren't you confident? Why aren't you confident, right? There's a lot of unconfident people out there. I think a lot of people just carry a lot of guilt, or they still are carrying shame from their childhood or something like that. So let's keep going. Every time I try to be happy or independent, I get chewed up, intimidated, and made to feel small. It's not good. It's really bad. How does one keep feeling happy and confident after almost daily chewings? He hasn't let me drive for years, since I had to have an operation and was on pain pills. Haven't been on them for quite a while now. I'm in a parking lot. I'm under the solar panels. Very important. Yes. She hasn't been on her pain pills for quite a while now. I don't bring in much for disability, but I think I can still make it as a van lifer. Okay. I have always lived in small spaces, and until I married to this hubby out in the country, I was always able to find a way to get a little extra money. I was a saver, not a spender, until hubbies started demanding all my money. I think she means all of her disability. By running up bills every time there was extra in the bank. So I believe I would be pretty good at it again, having my very busy son, who was just in Mexico for work, take me to the bank after this week to get back one of my banking accounts. And when he has time, I will get my disability checking account back. I have another son, but he lives in North Dakota, and although he also travels for work, they never send him here. I know there will be hell to pay for taking back control, but I can't continue to live in a small place, yet hardly ever leave the house or see anyone. My best friends now live in Florida and Texas. I keep in touch, but haven't seen them in years as I live in the Midwest. My car has been broken down for a few years, and I have yet to figure that part out. Please feel free to continue with being a life coach, and thank you from me and all the others you help. Wow, T Bacon. I meant to discuss this, and I hope you don't mind I put it on there, but you did put it on comments, so I'm sure a lot of people read it. Yeah, that's a tough one. So let's get into it, okay? Let me get another sip of this. You need to get your confidence back. What you hold in your head, you're going to hold in your hand. Now, you said it is really hard after constantly getting chewed out by your second husband. Now, here's the big picture that I see, and I think some of you are going to agree with me. The big picture. It seems to me, and it sounds like in here, that you've woken up. You're now seeing the big picture too. It's like, oh my gosh, 2 husbands, both abusing me. I need to go off by myself. I think you probably want to go solo. Yeah, do not, once you do leave, and maybe we can, if I can think about it, this is improv. I just wanted to read this. I wanted to get a video out for you today for y'all, because I know you missed me. It's been a few days, and I wanted to talk about this. So here's what you're realizing, and I think if you're not realizing it, I'm going to tell you, and I'm sure that all of you listening to this right now and viewing this are thinking it too. 2 husbands, both abusive. I don't know what has happened in your past back there, but obviously there has been some need for you to find somebody who will abuse you, because that's where your comfort level is. Your second husband, you said he wasn't that way at first, but he slowly. You know, I think that we tend to attract what we need at the time. And you obviously were still in a state where you needed that. You needed someone to control you. You needed to go through that again. That was your comfort level at that time. But you're not comfortable with it anymore. Although with your first husband, you did get away. You said that he was abusive. I don't know how he was abusive. You know, even screaming at you or calling you names, that's being abusive. They don't have to smack you or knock you down or pull your hair, right? I have a hair on my tripod. It's been bugging me. I could see it. Okay. I don't think you don't have to go through that to be abused. For somebody who constantly, or somebody who lies to you, and that's very abusive, because it'll make you feel like you're kind of crazy. It'll think, well, I know that's the truth, because women are very intuitive. Women are pretty much, biological women are very magical. We have this intuition that God gave us, because we have to take care of babies. We have to take care of husbands, sometimes parents, sometimes siblings as we're growing up. God made us the caregivers. And I know people might think, oh no. Well, in a way, we are. Not everybody's going to be a caregiver. Not everybody wants to be one. But I think our makeup and our hormones make us want to be caregivers. And we want to take care of things. When we have children, biological women bear children. And we have the hormones for that, to take care of them. We can handle quite a bit. I still can't believe the things that I've handled with, my husband was in a serious car accident. He passed away. I had 4 children. So I became at a young age, I became a single mom. Yeah. So I look back and I think, how did I do it? Well, how do any women do it? We do it. We rise to the occasion and we do it. Well, you were looking for somebody to take care of in that respect. We're very intuitive. You were intuitive enough to pick that first husband. Okay, I don't want to be abused anymore. I don't know how he abused you, if he lied to you. And your intuition told you that he's lying, but he kept denying it. You know, like, don't ever admit it. And it made you feel like you were kind of crazy. That's abusive also. So I don't know if it goes to the extreme of he was beating you, physically hurting you, or he was just abusive emotionally and verbally, right? But then you got away from him. Now you've got your second husband, and he became an abuser. Not in the beginning, but because of your intuition, you honed in on, you figured out that it was possible for this man to do this. I'm not saying you should blame yourself. I'm really not. But I am giving you an overall picture that there are certain responsibilities you will have to take. I'm sorry, but you will. And I have to take responsibility, as with everybody, for some of the unusual and the bizarre decisions that we've made in life. So, but now you're on the case. You want to get away and you want to go off by yourself. But in the meantime, you're going to have to heal just a little bit as you start making your plans for escape. I think that's going to be really important. If your son in Mexico can help you, that is really a good idea. You need to get your own banking account. But I don't know how abusive he is. I don't know if you need to leave right away. Is there any way your sons can help you get a car, loan you the money, or better yet, give you the money for a vehicle? What they could do is buy it. Ask them if they will help you. Let them know that you are being abused. And I think this is a really good idea. This just came to me. Ask them if they will work together and buy you a vehicle. Put it in one of their names until you can get away, and then they'll go with you. You could even go to North Dakota. I mean, it is getting summertime. You could drive up there. They'll give you gas and you drive up there. And then he can switch it over into your name. But in the meantime, have them buy you a vehicle. You could buy a minivan or a sedan, whatever you need to get away, something that works well, and then you can go. Yeah, you can go. I don't know if it's even a case where you do have to run and hide. I don't know how abusive he will be once you get on the road and he finds out you're gone. Yeah, I don't know. You know, there's a lot of women out there as nomads, and they're hiding. They don't give the real name. I met somebody who said she said her name was Freedom. That's all her name was. She said Freedom. Her husband, ex-husband or ex-boyfriend was looking for her. Yeah, she always had to be one step ahead. That's one reason as nomads, it's always a polite thing to do is before you start taking pictures or filming, ask everybody if it's okay, because, hey, somebody could see that person. And that's another thing with children, taking videos and pictures of children. They could be on the run with their mother because he was abusive or was going to kill them or threaten them with their lives. And if he sees a video and goes, oh, that's where they are, and then he can start following a trail. I don't know if that's your case, but I do know that your past tells me that your radar has been on the hunt for somebody who somehow could resolve some of your issues in your mind, in your past, back there. I always say we got to get rid of back there, but for right now, let's move forward. Yeah, let's not go back there. Let's move forward. You need to start thinking laser focused ahead. But I think that's a really good idea to get your sons together to buy you a car. Okay, so both of them put in $2,000-$3,000. Both of them. And get you, for $6,000, you could get a decent vehicle that runs very well. You just, where I bought mine, or they can look, maybe they could even finance it for you. And you can make payments to them or something. However you can work it out. You need to talk to them on the phone and get this started. So what do y'all think? Leave in comments. Do you think I might be too harsh with the talking about why did you go with the two husbands who will end up abusing you? But the only reason I mentioned it, I don't want you to beat yourself over the head over it. I don't want you to do that. You've had enough abuse. But what I want you to do is realize that this is a pattern. You got to look for patterns in your life. And if I was, talking to somebody in practice, as a counselor, I would point that out to that person to say, these are patterns that I'm seeing. When we meet people, We need to get to know them, because we need to know and ask questions like, what are your patterns? And if you start seeing a pattern and it's not a good pattern, chances are that pattern could keep going. I want you, T Bacon, whatever your real name is, to not go through that pattern anymore. I want you to realize that you invited that into your life. You did. And I don't want you to do it again. I want you to start changing the thinking up here. I want you to start switching it around. Do a 180 and say, you're going to have to spend time alone. Once you get away from him, you're going to have to go through a healing. You know, I know other people who have been abused. I really do. Somebody very close to me was abused for years by a spouse. And it takes a while to heal from that, because the words that you hear constantly are just horrible names. Like you say, chewing you up. Yeah. I don't know your age. I know your sons are grown, so you're probably getting towards, I hope, 65. And there's I think, let me know what you guys think. There's a new a view. There's a new enlightenment that happens once you start reaching the upper ages. There's a new clicking that goes on, and you see things so differently. So that's going to be a real plus for you as you get older. But your main point is to get away. And of course, eventually you need to get the divorce going. Now, I don't know if you're a common law state, but usually in a marriage, it's half and half, right? It gets divided half and half. I might be wrong about that. I know in Arizona, it's a if there's a divorce, it just goes right down the middle. Yeah. So, okay. I don't know what state you're in. I don't think you mentioned that. You said that you do have friends, you had friends in Texas and Florida. Well, I'll tell you, when you come out west, there's all kinds of places that kind of, the West, Arizona is a real transient kind of a state. A lot of people come here. There's a lot of, you can almost hide out in Arizona. I always thought that about Tucson. There's a lot of people that come to Tucson, and it's very transient. I mean, people come and then they leave, and then they come and they leave. You can kind of like mesh in, like what I call the urban nestling. You kind of like nestle in with everybody, and yeah, as long as you're not putting out information about where you are to people that would let an abusive husband know. If that's the case with you, then just don't let other people know. But I would like to hear from you again. I would like you to keep us informed on what's going on with this. And I would like all of you out there that are viewing this and hearing this to offer information too. We can use this video, to actually, we can use technology to help other people, right? It doesn't have to be a bunch of crap, being thrown at you. Sometimes I get lost in those shorts and those reels. The shorts on YouTube and the reels on Facebook, it's just a bunch of minutia, but every once in a while something comes through and it's like, wow, that's good information. Well, that's what I want this to be. And I haven't done a video for about 3 days now. I'm just kind of refreshing myself, getting refreshed, deciding where I want this channel to go. I will mention, I've got to mention this. I mean, I really do. I try different subjects, and a lot of you say, just stick with nomad stuff. So in my last 3 videos I actually did, a few of you did view them, but not many, not many. So when I put those out, I really don't make it much more than, the last one, I think I made like $18. Yeah, that's not, it's kind of not worth it. It's like making $3 an hour. Yeah. So I want to come up with different topics. Some of them, I'm going to warn you, some of them might be reality of what's going on, because there's a lot going on in the world right now. Things are really changing fast, and some of them, and most of them, not so good. Not so good. So if you don't want to watch the doom and gloom, maybe I'll put D&M or something on it, so to warn you if it's going to trigger you. But if you would be triggered by even reading them when it really does happen, oh my gosh, you're going to need tranquilizers, you know. I think that we're just going to have to accept that things are going down and things are changing in our world, and we do have to be a bit prepared. But that's going to be few and far between. I want to inspire you. I want to be your life coach, and that's what I think I'm going to be focusing on a lot. But you know what? This letter had a lot to do with nomad life, because she wants to get going. And I always want to incorporate that into the van life and the inspiring life. Because let's face it, just because we live in a van or an RV doesn't mean that we don't think about other things. We don't just sit in our vans all day and go, I live in my van. I live in my van. No, we think about other things. We think about where we're going to go. We think about what the news is, which state is better to go to. It's good to know those things, which does sometimes bring in the politics of it, or what's going on in that state. We got weather going on. We've got disaster here, disaster there. I mean, if you're going to be traveling, let's say, I thought about this summer going back east to see my daughter and her family, my family back there. But what time of year would I go? Would I be going through Missouri and Oklahoma or whatever during tornado season? Yeah, that would be pretty bad, wouldn't it? Joplin, Missouri. I actually stopped in there one time, and Max kind of warned me. He goes, "You do know that's like, you're right in the area of Tornado Alley." And it's like, oh, I didn't know. So yeah, there's a lot to think about besides just sitting in our vans. There's a whole lot, but there's a whole lot that goes on up here that we have to consider. How are we doing inside? Are we getting things accomplished in our minds and in our hearts that need to happen? Yeah, so there's a lot to talk about other than just how I'm going to redo my van and where I put my things, yeah, or how I cover my windows. So these are areas I'm going to really be concentrating on. Cheers. I love you guys. I missed you. Did you miss me? Yeah, I missed you guys. So I hope that you have a wonderful day. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Here's a reminder for you. Remember those balance exercises I did previously? How are you doing on those? Let me know. Are you doing your balance exercises? Very important. And it's very important to stay positive, too, about life. And T. Bacon, I want to hear from you. I want you to stay positive. You can do this. I want you to vision yourself being out there. It will happen. But I think in your case, T, you need some help. You need help. And it may be a neighbor. But I think your sons, you're going to have to reach out to them and say, if I ever needed you to, it's now. Okay, so until next video, I love you guys. Please subscribe, give me thumbs up, and check out minivanlee.com. I've got products there and just cool stuff. And I've got the link to my book on Amazon, How to Live in a Minivan, The Minivan Leeway. I've got some news coming up, and I'll probably let you know in my next video. But for now, bye.